There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at East London Grand Prix Circuit, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Jamie Nichols is second. Taking off from the third grid slot is the skilled driver, Johnny Geldenhuys.
Johnny Geldenhuys will be taking no prisoners today.
On the fourth grid slot we have Martin Meyer. James Leach will look to make a splash from the fifth position on the starting grid. Ernest Heather is placed in sixth.
Starting on the alternates tyres.
Donovan Liu will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from seventh on the grid.
Formation lap. Line up single file. Don't overtake.
Starting from 8th on the grid is a good position for Francois Erasmus to launch an attack. In the middle of the pack, we have Peter Geldenhuys starting from the 9th, and we're off. As the race begins, drivers must be wary of aggressive moves that can lead to trouble on the first lap.
Maintaining a safe distance while still pushing for position is a delicate balance. Experience and composure will be vital in these opening moments.
Drivers are jockeying for position. JP Brand will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position. Tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap.
Let's hope everyone is able to stay focused for the challenge ahead.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position? There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is feeling out the drivers around them. All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
I'm looking forward to this one, Alan, and we'll see a return to form for Ernest Heather in this outing in South Africa.
It's a solid performance from Donovan Liu at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them. The delta between Willy Van Wyck in 10th and Peter Geldenhuys remains over a second, but Willy Van Wyck is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 27 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Peter Geldenhuys is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Willy Van Wyck in P10 doing everything they can to catch up.
A setback for Philip Van Staden, who has just been passed. Superb driving from Philip Van Staden, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Hold on to your hats, folks. Abdurrahman is right on the heels of Philip Van Staden, and we're in for a wild ride.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Abdurrahman must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
Carl Steve, who has just lost a position.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Carl Steve needs to stay calm and focused, and make their move when it's
Wow, Robert Franco is really pushing hard to catch up to Clayton. There's blood in the water for 16th place. A brilliant maneuver from Robert Franco has just moved up the field. Disappointing for Robert Franco, they now find themselves in 16th. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
It's a battle for position as James Leach tries to make a move on Donovan Lau. This is what racing is all about.
Ernest Heather is holding 7th, but Abdurov is right on their tail.
It's not over yet. Abdurov is right on Ernest Heather's tail, and if they can find just a little bit of extra speed, they might be able to make a move.
Francois Rasmus is looking for an opportunity to get around Ernest Heather. An impressive showing from Francois Rasmus, who has gained positions and left Ernest Heather in the dust. In your experience, Matt, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race?
The most challenging aspect, Alan, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline.
Abdurov is sandwiched between their rivals. Philip Van Staden 0.1 seconds behind. Hold up, breaking info. I don't think that's the fastest way around East London Grand Prix circuit. The action is non-stop as Francois Rasmus shadows Ernest Heather through every twist and turn, determined to claim 6th.
That's right, Francois Erasmus is determined to pass Ernest Heather and secure a higher position.
The action is heating up here as Carl Steed is in 11th, defending from Jean-Andre Ducas, who is only 0.3 seconds away.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Jean-Andre Ducas to make up that gap, especially with Carl Steed defending so well.
The pursuit is on. Hold up, breaking info. I don't think that's the fastest way around the East London Grand Prix circuit. Just gained a place and moved up to 6th. A tough moment for Francois Rasmus, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 7th.
Yes, but
hold up, breaking info. I don't think that's the fastest way around the East London Grand Prix circuit. Things don't look to be going Carl Steed's way, as already they are into the pits.
Certainly not where they want to be at this stage in the race, fast for sure, Alan.
Look at that, Jean-Andre Ducas is hot on the tail of Clayton.
We'll have to wait to see if Jean-Andre Ducas can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
It's looking good for Jean-Andre Ducas, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Clayton.
Absolutely. Jean-Andre Ducas is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Looks like Clayton is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curve can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
Oh, this is getting intense. Robert Franco is just behind Martin Meyer.
This is what separates the good from the great. The ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
Johnny Geldenhuys is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Oh, this is getting intense. Abderov is just a few car lengths behind Francois Rasmus. Every move counts now as Kenneth Ella works to reel in Jean-Andre Bucas and overtake for P10. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Martin Mayer should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Clayton.
No room for error here. James Leach is breathing down the neck of Joni Geldenhuys, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
One wrong move and we could see a spectacular new synchronized pirouette performance by James Leach and Johnny Geldenhuys, though I doubt the judges would give them a perfect score.
Abderov is running 8th. They are trying to catch Francois Rasmus.
The racing is getting tight between Abderov and Francois Rasmus as they battle for P7. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
This is a thrilling battle as Kenneth Ella edges. Hold up, breaking info. I don't think that's the fastest way around the East London Grand Prix circuit. James Leach is hunting down Joni Geldenhuys with everything they've got.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. James Leach needs to be careful not to overdo it.
Fantastic move from James Leach, who has just gained a position. You know, Max, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Alan. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone is so important.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Joni Geldenhuys is chasing Donovan Wu in P3. Both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
If James Leach gets any closer, they might as well ask Johnny Geldenhuys for a piggyback ride.
In racing anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown.
It's a battle of nerves now. Johnny Geldenhuys and Donovan Lau are both pushing hard, but need to avoid mistakes that might cost them time and position.
Donovan Wu is on a mission, chasing Joni Geldenhuys, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
If James Leach isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status.
When I was racing, we had a saying, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Francois Erasmus is definitely living on the edge today.
It's a game of inches now as Jean-Andre Bucas. Hold up, breaking info. Oh dear, Robert Franco has had an incident. Impressive driving from Donovan Wu, who has managed to extend their lead over James Leach. They are walking away at this point, and James Leach will have to wait to fight another day. It's a close race between James Leach and Donovan Wu in fourth.
That's right, Alan. The pressure can easily get the best of even seasoned drivers. The fans are on the edge of their seats, waiting to see who will come out on top in this epic showdown.
Looking at the lap times, James Leach is not currently on pace with Donovan Wu. Maybe they'll get a chance to see where they can improve.
It will be interesting to see if Donovan now can keep outpacing James Leach.
Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take the driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than confused tourists.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. Things are heating up as James Leach closes in on Donovan Wu. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. I don't think that's the fastest way around the East London Grand Prix circuit. James Leach is giving it their all as they chase down Donovan Wu in P4. It may seem like James Leach is far behind, but Donovan Wu can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give James Leach an opening to catch up. This is what high-octane racing looks like. James Leach is breathing down the neck of Donovan Wu, not giving them any room to relax. Good news for James Leach, the gap to Donovan Wu has decreased. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
That's a great effort from James Leach. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
As a former racing driver, Max, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, Alan. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on the track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
The pursuit is on. James Leach is closing the gap on Donovan Wu, determined to claim P4.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. James Leach is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Donovan Wu.
Even though James Leach is a fair way behind Donovan Wu, they can't afford to let their guard down. Donovan Wu is still vulnerable to mistakes. Donovan Wu has just put in a faster lap than James Leach, so that's going to give him something to worry about.
We will have to see if James Leach has got any answer.
Hold up, breaking info. Oh dear, Robert Franco has had an incident. The tension is building as Donovan Wu trails behind Joni Geldenhuis. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Joni Geldenhuis is pushing to maintain the lead, while Donovan Wu is working to close in and challenge for the position. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Ernest Heather, who is currently in P6. But James Leach is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Ernest Heather. It seems like Ernest Heather is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Things don't seem to be going Willy Van Wyck's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. The race is heating up as Ernest Heather in 6th closes in on James Leach. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It's game on now. Ernest Heather has closed the gap to James Leach. It's now down to 0.3 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. Hard-fought battles with as much determination as respect, between friends and enemies alike.
Big gains for Ernest Heather as they move up the field, leaving James Leach behind.
Yes, but Ernest Heather can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Willy Van Wyck trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Martin Meyer. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Willy Van Wyck and 18 determined to catch up. But we know Martin Meyer isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Willy Van Wyck is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
The battle for 5 is heating up as James Leach tries to catch Ernest Heather in P5. James Leach is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.57 seconds down.
James Leach needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of.
Robert Franco has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Alan Denyer. I expect their only hope at this point is that Alan Denyer makes an error. Looks like James Leach is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Peter Geldenhuys in 16th chases after Ivan Lerner. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Peter Geldenhuys needs to find a way to close the gap.
It's going to be tough for Peter Geldenhuys, as Ivan Lerner seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Peter Geldenhuys pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
James Leach is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Ivan Lerner trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Peter Geldenhuys. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Ivan Lerner tries to reel in Peter Geldenhuys. But Peter Geldenhuys is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Ivan Lerner needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Peter Geldenhuys and move up the field.
It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Robert Franco as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
James Leach wants to find a way round Ernest Heather. It seems like James Leach has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Ernest Heather's lap braking update. Looks like that's a mistake from Donovan Liu. This could be costly. This is where the race gets really interesting. James Leach is closing in on Ernest Heather.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds. Can James Leach close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
It looks like James Leach is making a move. The gap to Ernest Heather is now down to 0.3 seconds. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely. It's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
Every move counts now as James Leach works to reel in Ernest Heather and overtake for P4.
James Leach needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Ernest Heather.
The gap between James Leach and Ernest Heather is getting smaller. The delta between Robert Franco in 14th and Alan Denyer remains over a second, but Robert Franco is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 4 minutes left in this session to make that happen. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. James Leach could be on a charge here, Max. They have just put in a quicker lap than Ernest Heather. A solid performance from Peter Geldenhuys, who is holding down 15th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Peter Geldenhuys has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Things are heating up as James Leach tries to close the gap to Ernest Heather. A strong showing from JP Brand, who is currently first. Oh, this is getting intense. James Leach is just a few car lengths behind Ernest Heather.
It's a game of strategy now as James Leach hunts down Ernest Heather. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
James Leach needs to find some speed, or maybe get more consistent. Max, they have just put in a slower lap than Ernest Heather.
Hopefully James Leach can find some of that time they're losing and get it back.
Things are going according to plan for Donovan Liu, who is currently 7th. We got a close battle as James Leach closes in on Ernest Heather. It seems like James Leach is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
You can wish all you want, but I don't think that's how racing works, Max. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for high fives and fist bumps?
Well, it doesn't look like Johnny Geldenhuys is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Jamie Nichols. It looks like we might get a battle between Johnny Geldenhuys and Jamie Nichols.
Exactly what Johnny Geldenhuys needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Jamie Nichols.
It looks like James Leach is pushing hard to catch up to Ernest Heather. That's not a breaking news, folks. I don't think that's the fastest way around the East London Grand Prix circuit. It's like JP Brand has saved all their energy for this final stretch. And it's a checkered flag for JP Brand, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today. Impressive second place finish for Jamie Nichols. What a race from Johnny Geldenhuys, showing their skill and determination for a great third place finish.
Great job bringing it home.
Ernest Heather, James Leach, Abderraf, and Donovan Liu take 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Philip Van Staden, Peter Geldenhuys, Ivan Lerm, and Martin Meyer end in 8th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. Finishing 9th, 10th, and 18th is Francois Erasmus, Jean-Dre Lucas, and Willy Van Wyck. 11th is Kenneth Ella, Clayton and Alan Denyer in 12th and 13th. With Robert Franco in 14th.